Ladies and gentlemen, we're here.
I'm part of the Kliq, isn't everybody?
Yes! 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 I got an idea, yeah. Beat up John Cena!
Give me a hell yeah!
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Too sweet! This is where the power lies!
I am the man.
We need if you can survive! It's showtime, folks!
The following episode is scheduled for one fall, and it is for your listening pleasure. This is In The Kliq.
What's up, everybody? Baby Huey here, back at it for a very special episode of In The Kliq. And AEW has a stacked weekend lined up for us wrestling fans. First up tonight, starting at 9 p.m., you can watch the buy-in leading into tonight's episode of AEW Rampage on AEW's YouTube channel, followed by AEW Rampage itself tonight at 10 p.m. on TNT. Plus, tomorrow will be a special Saturday night edition of AEW Dynamite at 8 p.m., also on TNT. And joining me to talk all about it is one of the new stars of AEW, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. How's it going, Bryan?
It's going great. How are you?
I'm doing great. So excited to be talking to you. And let's jump right into it. This weekend, AEW has you working double duty. Tonight on the buy-in, you're going to be facing Minoru Suzuki. And tomorrow, you're going to be facing Bobby Fish. But for right now, let's focus on tonight. What's going through your mind as you get ready to face the New Japan Pro Wrestling legend, Minoru Suzuki?
Yeah, so I'm super excited because, you know, Minoru Suzuki, for those people who don't know or aren't familiar with him, he's kind of a Japanese wrestling legend. And, you know, he's also done he's an MMA pioneer, all that kind of stuff, was the King of Pancrase. But the fun thing is, in 2004, when I was 23 years old and had been in the wrestling industry less than 4 year, I had a one-on-one match with him, and he absolutely beat the crap out of me. And so, so tonight is so tonight's a chance for me to get a little bit of retribution. But you know, that's a fun thing. You know, they call him now. You know, they call him the murder grandpa sometimes, right? And so it's like he's not somebody who's intimidated by physicality. Like, he wants to fight, he wants to go to war, and that's something that, you know, that excites me as well. So I think fans are going to be in for a real treat tonight when we get in the ring. That's
great to hear. I look forward to it, and of course seeing your matchup with Bobby Fish tomorrow as well. And listen, I know you've been doing quite a bit of press, obviously promoting AEW, especially last month leading up to Grand Slam in New York City. I know everyone's been asking you this question in one form or another. Just, you know, the only reason I'm asking this, just in case anyone hasn't heard it, if you can just explain why you didn't decide to re-sign with WWE, but instead sign with AEW.
Yeah, well, so it's, you know, it's really interesting, and it's like, to get into it really, it's probably going to take me another book, but you know, at the end of the day, I was just excited by the prospect of AEW. I think what AEW is doing now is so fun and exciting, and they've got so many great talents. They're like even the Minoru Suzuki thing. They're working with other companies throughout the wrestling world, right? And bringing in fresh, exciting matchups. And they're also presenting wrestling in a way that's modernizing pro wrestling and making it, like, the world's changed a lot in the last 20 years. You know what I mean? Like, YouTube is now a thing. Right? Like, when, I don't know about you, but when I was in high school, it took you 3 minutes to upload a picture on you or on the computer. And now you can stream me against Minoru Suzuki worldwide, and people can watch it in real time live on the computer, you know? So it's like, so they're modernizing pro wrestling and presenting it in a way that's really fun and exciting. Plus, there's so many, like, talented, amazing wrestlers that I haven't had the chance to get in the ring with that are in AEW, and that's what I'm here for.
That's great to hear. And just going off the whole New Japan Pro Wrestling thing is, over the summer, there was a lot of rumors that WWE was in talks with New Japan Pro Wrestling about possible talent sharing, and a lot of these outlets were reporting that was being done for you so you could potentially stay with WWE but just work dates over in Japan. Is there any truth to that, or do you know how far along those talks went?
Well, so I don't know how far along the talks went, but and I don't know even if I was the start of them for sure. Mm-hmm. But one of the things when I was talking to them when they were when WWE was trying to re-sign me was I said I want to be able to go work in Japan, and so they were trying to come up with an agreement to where I would be able to go and do that and that sort of thing. And so yeah, that was definitely something that was talked about. I don't know where it went or anything like that. All I know is that now it seems like AEW has a really great relationship with New Japan. So I feel like it couldn't have gone that well.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, I as fans, we get to enjoy it all. I mean, yeah, I love everything that I see on TV. So I'm super excited for the potential and the Forbidden Door and what you could potentially do down there. Looking ahead, if things, start getting back more to normal, quarantines lighten up and stuff, what are your goals over in Japan?
So one of the things that I've always really wanted to do is I've wanted to do a G1, mm-hmm. right? Like one of the G1 tournaments, and their G1 tournament is going on right now. But I think it's just like I like to push myself physically. That's actually one of the reasons why I joined AEW is because they wrestle a very physical style. My match tonight with Minoru Suzuki is going to be very physical. Yeah. My match tomorrow night with Bobby Fish is going to be very physical. But one of the most grueling things to do in professional wrestling is the G1 tournament because it's so many physical matches and it's night after night after night and one after another you're in the ring with killers, right? And mm-hmm. so it's like so that's something that really appeals to me. Now it doesn't appeal to my wife so much. she's a little I don't want to say she's not bothered, but she's like, oh, Brian, like she knows I'm going to come home on Sunday and I'm going to be beat up, but I'm going to have a big smile on my face. And it's like, she just shakes her head at me sometimes, but she's happy that I'm happy.
Yeah, that's great to hear. And listen, as far as comparing your wrestling style, we got to see a little bit of it as far as what you're going to be doing in the ring in AEW with your match with Kenny Omega. And as far as comparing it with your most recent WWE run coming back out of retirement, a lot of people were saying you had to wrestle more of like a protected style, obviously with your past concussions and stuff. So what can fans, we saw a preview, I guess you could say, with Kenny Omega, but moving forward, what can fans expect from you in the ring with your time in AEW?
Well, so they can expect it to be very aggressive and very physical. So I love smash mouth wrestling, and that's what I want to do in AEW. You know what I mean? For years in WWE, I was portrayed as the underdog, and they wanted me to wrestle kind of a certain style and that sort of thing. But now I can just kind of do what I'd like to do and wrestle with a certain a higher degree of physicality, and I think that scares some people. but that's one of the things that I enjoy about wrestling the most is the physicality of it. You know what I mean? And so that's something that I really enjoy.
That's great to hear. Listen, I know we're running short on time, but I mean, us fans, we're excited for it. Just even case in point, a couple weeks ago when you took on Nick Jackson on Rampage, the crowd was chanting, "You're gonna get your effing head kicked in." How great for you was to hear like just some of your old school chants from Ring of Honor days kind of being brought back to more of a mainstream audience?
Yeah, so I think that for me it's really cool, and and it's I wasn't sure how how quick that chant would catch on. But it's really funny because it's got a hard beat to clap to. Mostly, wrestling chants or any sort of chants in arenas are, the yes chant is super easy, right? It's just yes, yeah, it's easy for anybody to do. You're gonna get your effing head kicked in with a clap beat that goes like this. I was like, oh. Man, they're getting it right, and so yeah, it's really, really fun. But I think that chant specifically, and fans embracing it, is it just shows that like people want to see me wrestle that more physical style, and that's kind of emblematic of what I want to be doing. I want people to come to my matches thinking like, oh, he's either going to kick somebody's head in or he's going to get his head kicked in, and for them to enjoy all of that.
That's great. Bryan, I know you got to run. Listen, I just want to thank you for everything you've done for the pro wrestling business. I was there for your big return in New Orleans a few years ago. That was so great to see, and just seeing you continue on. And I do want to shout out, I was at Bottle Rock. We're here in the Bay Area. I was at Bottle Rock in Napa last month. I tried your wife's wine, the Bonita wine. Great stuff, man. So hopefully one day maybe our radio station can, do something with the Bonita wine or something. So I'm just putting it out there in the universe, okay?
Yeah, for sure. And we live in the Napa area.
Yep.
So yeah, any time, that would be awesome.
Okay. I will, somehow on Twitter, I'll try to get a hold of you or something, but listen, good luck this weekend. Rampage tonight. You got the buy-in on YouTube, 10 PM on TNT, Dynamite tomorrow night. And looking forward when AEW can come out to the Bay Area at some point. So thank you, Bryan, for your time.
Yep. Thank you very much.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
There you have it. Thank you again to the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, for being on the show. And I know I've been very fortunate to talk to some of the biggest names in the pro wrestling industry, but talking to Bryan Danielson was at the top of my interview bucket list. So happy to finally speak to him. Like I said at the beginning of the interview, make sure to tune in tonight starting at 9 p.m. and watch the buy-in leading into tonight's episode of AEW Rampage on AEW's YouTube channel, followed by AEW Rampage tonight at 10 p.m. on TNT. Plus, tomorrow will be a special Saturday night edition of AEW Dynamite at 8 p.m. also on TNT. You can follow Bryan Danielson on Twitter at Bryan Danielson and Instagram at Bryan L. Danielson. Make sure to follow AEW on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube as well. All right, Kliqsters, let's go home now. Remember to subscribe to In The Kliq on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. We're also on a ton of other major podcast platforms. Help the show out by rating, reviewing, leave a comment, and share the podcast. Subscribe to In The Kliq's YouTube page, watch the videos, hit the like button, and leave a comment. Please follow In The Kliq on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for @InTheKliq. Email us at inthekliq@gmail.com. Once again, thank you for tuning in and for all the support. And that's the bottom line because Huey said so.